Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Well, let's talk about how to walk lines, your bowling lines for power players. Now, power players are typically very accomplished players. You're already a good bowler. One of the things that good coaches like to try to communicate is consistent and good footwork that can help you match your swing path that's required in order to properly place the power, the high rev rate on your bowling ball, and get the ball down the lane to the break point and into the pocket. That's the objective. Well, typically today on the Men's Pro Bowlers Tour and all the amateur tours of the big amateur tournaments around the country, the top power players will walk. If you're right-handed bowlers, they'll walk from their starting position. They'll end up left of where they started on the approach. They have a walk to the left. The reason is that by walking to the left, they make sure that their bowling hip and bowling trail leg clears before allowing them to have an inside, slightly inside out swing path to the break point down the lane and eventually into the pocket. Now, it can be done, you can develop an inside out swing path walking a straight line, but very difficult walking from right to left if you're a right-handed player. If you're a left-handed player, you want to try to avoid walking to the left. And the reason is then you have to realign your swing somewhere while you're walking to more of an outside-in swing path, and that can be very difficult for a power player in particular to have enough direction down the lane properly to the break point. So all that being said, if we try to make things as simple as possible if you're going to walk to the left. One of the great coaches that I knew from years ago offered a simple suggestion. That was the great Don Johnson, many time champion on Pro Bowlers Tour and Hall of Famer, passed on now, but he was a good friend of mine, a great coach, ahead of his time in my opinion, and he used to recommend that you use one of the steps on a four-step approach for a right-handed bowler. He used to recommend use the second step, the step left. So you'd go straight, left, kind of straight, and then slide under your chin for good balance. Pretty simple process. If you step left far enough on the second step, you want to make sure that you don't shorten that step, take a natural length, but just walk to the left and then let your feet follow and slide underneath your chin. If you can do that, then you create that left walking motion and your swing path will tuck in and follow quite neatly. Now you can do anything over exaggeration motions and they might not be effective. There's other ways of walking left, just gradual steps to the left, but you want to make sure that you don't get your swing inside too quickly and it still pops out and comes around in an outside-in swing motion. So anytime you're going to change your footwork pattern, we recommend you see a coach. Work with a talented player, could be a good local bowler in the area, a professional bowler, could be a pro shop operator, anybody skilled in working with good players, particularly you power players, to make sure your feet are consistent. And you want to walk those consistent lines everywhere on the approach too. Whether you're playing the first arrow, swinging to the first arrow and hooking back to the pocket, or whether you're playing the fifth arrow and you're sliding way left of the edge of the lane and throwing the ball out over the edge of the lane and swinging around the lane from fifth or sixth arrow, for example, on very dry lanes. You'll want to make sure that you have a consistent walking pattern so your arm swing can rely on it and follow the correct swing path down the lane to the break point and eventually allow the ball to hook to the pocket. I know that makes sense to you. There's a number of ways to get it done. Make sure, though, that your walk is consistent. We recommend walking to the left slightly for power players. Most players, anyway, will walk to the left on the Pro Bowlers Tour, even if they throw the ball fairly straight. It's just a good rule of thumb to make sure your bowling hip and your trail leg, that's the step before your slide, it sweeps away, clears a path for your arm swing to go any direction it needs to go to accurately hit your target. So that's typically a good philosophy. Again, see your coach if you have any questions. Hope some of these tips help. We want to thank you for taking some time and visiting bowlingball.com today. And we hope that you come back and visit us often. Thank you.